Hey everybody, George here, N0JRJ, and this is part 2 of the National SW54 shortwave receiver restoration. As you recall in the first video, I have 2 of these SW54s. One looked to be in really bad shape. It looked at it as if it had been in a dark, damp place for a long time. Everything had mold all over it. That's unit number 1. This is unit number 2. It cosmetically looked better in most instances. The chassis was better, the controls were better. It had more good tubes than the other one. However, the old set that I have decided to, the other set that I have decided to use for parts, is yielding some very good parts indeed. Let me show you. This is the tuning dial that came off of this receiver. And if I come back like this, maybe you can see this is broken. Somebody tried to glue it. It was actually glued onto the tuning thing, and it's cracked, and it's yellowed. There's a big crack. So this came off the one I want to restore. This one, which I have cleaned, and now looks really good. Let me get close on this one. This one came off the bad one. Off the other one that I'm using for parts. So that's one good part off of it. The other thing is this speaker came off of this radio. You see it's an 8 ohm speaker, and it had obviously been replaced. It was double stick taped down here to the, this is where it mounts. It mounts something like this, and it was double stick taped down here, which left a big mess. But the other radio has the original speaker. Now the cone is a bit cracked. I don't know how it's going to sound, and it does have quite a bit of rust on it. But I would really rather use the original speaker if possible. So I'm going to try to do that, and let's see how that goes. Also, here's the 2 tuning dials. This one came off of this receiver, and you really can't tell in the video, but it has especially with this fluorescent light I've got up here, but it has a definite yellow tint to it even after soaking overnight. This one, however, came off the rusty one, and it's beautiful. It's clear, and that's the one I'm going to use. And between the 2 units, I've got enough good tubes to make one good radio, so that's great. This is the back panel that goes behind the tuning dial. Kind of sits in here like this, and it's just made out of cardboard, black flat cardboard, and they're brittle with age. So I'll be looking for some cardboard to make and I'll use these as a template, and I'll make another deal for that. So let's look at the radio and see what I've got to do on it. Now, if you can, and one thing too, let me tell you a little history about this radio. The SW54 was pretty popular, and it was more of an entry-level radio. And it was made in the 1950s, between 1950 and 1956, 57 or so. I think the median price range for it at the time was 50 or 60 bucks. And it had come out to be competitive with, what was it, the Hallicrafters S38 at the time. Now it's a 5-tube, All-American 5 type, and it's a transformerless radio. So there's some safety aspects we're going to have to take into consideration when we start restoring it. One of the things that I did, I ordered a bunch of caps. They finally came in yesterday, And we're going to have to make sure that we replace the safety capacitors in this. And so anyway, a little bit more on the history. It covers, let me see, 0.55, 0.544 megahertz, up to 30 megahertz general coverage. It's 4 bands. And here's the 4 bands right here. It does have a CW setting as well as AM, but there's no BFO on this unit. So, and the speaker, as I showed you, there's a whoops on this side. It's a built-in speaker, and there's an audio output for a headset, one of the old-time headsets. So it's and it's got real simple controls, and it's just a basic, simple little shortwave receiver. So anyway, this is the unit. As you can see, it's still covered with a lot of dust. I haven't done anything with it. So tonight I'm going to be dusting it off and trying to clean up this case. And then I will, if you recall too, let me turn this up. This is the one that had the stock capacitor that had been cut, right? And somebody had put this one in there and it's the wrong values. So this is coming out, plus all the other capacitors. And if you, I don't know if you remember, but somebody has replaced a few capacitors in here. There's one back here. But all that's coming out. I'm going to rip all that out and make sure it's all right. So that's what I'm doing tonight. And the other thing, and I want to pose this question to you, those of you that have experience, it looks as if, since this is a hot chassis probably, and of course it's got the original, let me show you this, it's got the original plug, which is non-polarized. So if you turn it one way or the other, you got a 50-50 chance of having 110 volts right here on the chassis. So it's kind of a dangerous little set. Also, based on these ground terminals here coming off of this tuning deck, and these rubber feet, it looks like the oscillator tuning section is isolated from the rest of the chassis, but this rubber is awful. So I guess I'm going to have to try to find some rubber feet or some grommets or something to keep this portion isolated. If any of you know anything about that, I would sure appreciate some comments or maybe even an email. My email is n0jrj@arrl.net. You can feel free to drop me an email. So that's what we're going to do tonight, and then hopefully we'll have an update with part 3. So thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you soon. N0JRJ, this is George. Good night.